Good morning, y'all. My name is Brittany, and today I wanted to do a review on One Ascension, or the Shakti Spiral's spiritual response therapy. I had looked up reviews after I purchased the session, but I did not see any, so I wanted to give a review of my experience doing the spiritual response therapy. And I'm doing this the day after my session. I actually wanted to give some time, but I noticed my memories of the session fading, and I honestly think it's meant to be that way, because spiritual response therapy is really a clearing of everything that your soul was carrying through all of these different incarnations. And I really just felt pushed and called to do this, but before I purchased it, I had no idea what I was purchasing. I'm not even gonna lie. My own life coach, she did this, and she did a review of I believe it's the One Ascension technique and the spiritual response therapy part, but it wasn't necessarily just the spiritual response therapy. It was more on the One Ascension technique. So I just really felt called to do this, but I did not know what I was getting myself into, and honestly, doesn't even matter. All I know really about the spiritual response therapy is that it has a list of papers and a pendulum is used. I have no idea what's written on these papers. What I can tell you is that Shakti, there we go, pardon me, uses her intuition all the way to do these things also. I guess, it's just, being guided with tools, but her intuition is absolutely magnificent. And being the next day after my spiritual response therapy, I can honestly say that I have not slept that good in a very, very long time. Very long time. I feel a little emotional right now. So, I understand that not everybody likes to share their experience. They find it very dear and personal to their souls, and for me, I feel like I'm here to share, so I don't mind keeping it. What I will say is that whatever I share is not going to do it as much justice as actually having the experience. And like I mentioned when I first began this video, I am not remembering everything that happened. I know a lot took place because I was bawling my eyes out a lot, but I have my little notepad just to try to keep me on par. So it first starts out, we connect through phone call, and Shakti connects our higher selves so that basically her higher self can pretty much go through my soul's Akashic records. And the Akashic records, or Akashic records, it's pronounced, however suits your fancy, is pretty much your soul spark that continues reincarnating and incarnating. It's pretty much your soul's history. And I can tell you that a lot of the stuff that I was just so baffled and confused on was really, really hit on and brought to the surface. If you are unfamiliar with me, I have been going through my own spiritual journey, and in any way that I can, I've been helping take people with me. Just sharing my experience, trying to pique their interest, help them in any way that I can. And so a lot of the stuff that she said, I had already observed in my life to be true, but I was just stumped on. I had no idea. I would be doing really, really great, and all of a sudden, pow! Like I would get sick. And one of my beliefs was that, well, your energy can't, it must be off if you're sick. That, I learned, is a soul program. That it's like a defensive mechanism to keep me safe and everything. And so that was cleared. So what she initially does is she goes through and she clears any blocks, anything that is stopping you from receiving anything, or any blocks that may be preventing the flow of energy. Through using her pendulum and paper and intuition, her intuition was huge on this one. Well, on all of the experience. She went through and she noticed any blocks, and she cleared those right away. But some of the stuff that I really needed to hear it just brought me to tears. And before we started, I cleared my mind. I removed all expectations of what I was to expect, because after I started looking up reviews, my ego starts saying, but it's papers and a pendulum. Release all expectations, because it's so much more than that. I'll just, like I said, I don't remember every single thing, and I think that is part of my soul's clearing. I did not take notes or anything, because I'm not trying to re-solidify the stuff that I'm trying to clear. And to me, to write something down is really, for me, it's a very powerful way to manifest things. And I don't want to re-manifest anything. I just want to be free. And I can tell you that this has really, really helped me feel free and light like I never have. Something that she picked up was me keeping my friends afar. And a lack of trust, especially with women. All of my friends, especially the few women friends in my life, know that I am a dude kind of girl. I was raised with the boys, have a brother, have another brother. I have grown up with like 3 or 4 different kids that are all guys on my street growing up when I was a child. But for some reason, I just had trouble connecting with women. And I've tried very hard. I have like only 3 women friends, and that came from a past life. And some of these things that she said, like I said, I released all expectations of what I was to expect from this. So it was really just like me listening to somebody tell a story, except that before she could even finish the sentence, I would have tears streaming down my face. It's just because my soul desperately needed to hear that. And I don't like to consider myself a very emotional person. I am a very sensitive person. However, I don't just cry at the drop of a hat. What she does is so amazing. So what she found out, and I know just how I feel, that is absolutely true. In a past life, I was actually in a coven of women. I was like a high priestess, and I was born with the mark of a goddess, or traits of a goddess, and so I was sent to this school. And I was admitted into this school, and with my gifts and my abilities, I really, really did well. And it was a misunderstanding where I was doing really well, and like all of the information, I was a channeler, a very awesome channeler, if I do say so myself. And pretty much my role, they thought that I was, my coven thought, or the school thought that I was trying to replace the other high priestess. So it was a misunderstanding where I was just honestly trying to share my gifts and do well, which sounds just like me now. And it was a misunderstanding, and as a result, I was killed. So that I've always been into magic, but I have never ever wanted to be in a coven of any sorts. Never piqued my interest, and so that's where that link comes into, as well as keeping people from afar. And I was also a high priestess. Once again, I had several lifetimes where I was this, which explains why I'm into all the witchy stuff, but not covens. Where I was in a relationship with another woman. And I was a woman in a relationship with a woman, and I felt very, very betrayed by something that she did, which really explains why I just don't normally take to women. However, I am open to changing that now. And what I did not tell Shakti, and I just was so intent on listening and hearing what she had to say, did not tell her that I've actually had dreams of my prior incarnations. I've really been heavy working on dream work here and there, on and off. And I even talked to my family about it. Like, I had dreams about being a lesbian, and this other one wanted to kill me. And I have a whole dream journal about it. But just to hear her say that was very powerful. And now that I just got a memory, going back to the coven thing and being in the school of people, with the priestesses and in this magical school, like, I just went blank again. Pretty much, this whole experience just had me bawling and crying my eyes out. I feel so light. And as far as my relationships go, that was another thing. She said that in a past lifetime, I have been in an abusive relationship, and I loved him so much that I felt that it was my responsibility to try to take that weight on my shoulders and fix him. And I told her that I had done that in 2 relationships, which was not accurate, because after I got off the phone, I looked at my last relationship, and even though I chose myself, and even though I chose to step away, before I did that, I was busy trying to fix him. So, in every single relationship that I have ever been in, I have been in hard relationships. First one was a mentally and verbally abusive relationship. Second one was a big relationship where I felt so betrayed. The next one was one where I just felt helpless and wanted to fix things and control things, and so I took on that responsibility as my own to try to fix. And when I learned that I could not, is when I stepped away. So that was incredibly powerful. And so she really picked up on everything. She's picked up on my prior relationships, which have totally translated into this lifetime. She has picked up on, I remember that memory regarding the coven. She picked up on my disinterest in befriending women. She picked up on my disinterest of covens. She, and speaking of the covens, being that I was betrayed and killed out of an act of trying to do well for people, there were a lot of sister souls that really felt horrible and felt ashamed that they did not, I'm getting emotional, that they did not stop it, that they did not save me. And I'm just going to let my feelings flow. When she told me that, she said that there were souls that, which is totally something I would do. She told me that there were souls hanging on to me that I agreed to pretty much piggyback. I took on, I don't want to call them entities, I'll call them aspects instead. I had been incarnating with these aspects that were clinging to my soul until this very moment in time with me and Shakti. That was our soul contract for this lifetime. And those souls were desperately waiting for me, patiently waiting for me to do this spiritual response therapy so that I could hear that and they could know that I heard my past story, so that they can finally be healed and be cleared from my soul. While I was cleared, so were they. And there were a lot of sister souls just waiting for this moment in time for me to hear my past story. And like I said, I was just listening with an open mind. I had no idea what to expect. I don't remember all of my past lives. And so as soon as she said that, I just had tears streaming down my face. How I would selflessly say, yes, come be born with my soul and hang on with me through these lives until you can also be cleared at some point in time. And I woke up today just feeling so light, like I haven't in so long. I know that this review is so jumbled up, but what I can really tell you about my spiritual response therapy is that it was life-changing. Things that I have known on my spiritual journey, she picked up on with her intuition, and she also linked those issues in my life, those challenges is what I really want to call them. She linked them to a past life experience, and I was not judging what she was telling me. But as soon as she started saying some of those stories, I had tears streaming down my face, and I do not react like that. They were so incredibly powerful. And Shakti, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do. I feel so light. I feel like this is the beginning of a really beautiful journey. And I am so grateful and so blessed that we have that soul contract. And I say have because I'm going to be doing the One Ascension technique too. It's absolutely worth it. So I know that this was like a rambly review and testimonial about the spiritual response therapy. So to anybody who is looking to get the spiritual response therapy, do it. If you're even interested and looking into it, that is your soul telling you to do it. Do it. You will feel so much better. Whatever you read about it, if your ego gets loud and tries to scare you off, do not let the price scare you. It's energy exchange. That's what it is. You pay, you receive. It's an energy exchange. Don't look at it as money. Look at it as an exchange. It's so powerful. This has really helped me look through different eyes. It's helped me understand my past and myself, and it's really helped me clear the slate so that I can move forward in my life, conscious, making different choices and experiencing things different than the repeating patterns that have been going on in my life. There's no way that this testimonial or review is gonna do the spiritual response therapy justice. So I highly suggest that you just go and do it yourself. It's very powerful, very life-changing, and Shakti is an amazing, beautiful soul that is extremely intuitive, and she's so loving and so passionate, and this is what she does. This is why her soul is here, and her soul is here to help your soul, and she will if you allow her to. Shakti, thank you so much for everything. I have so much love for you, and I can't wait to work with you again. Love y'all. Bye.